Thank you to everybody. My name is Massimo Bertaccini. I am here to present searching on encrypted data. I am a cryptographer, and I founded Cryptolab. I spent last 5 years of my life with my engineer team to implement and to project and to implement this first crypto searching engine. This is my concept of security. Probably somebody of you is, in fact, is not very convinced, but I think the security has to be also not only strong, but as this palace, if you have window and glass and is anti-bullet, these window and glass are more strong than wall. Probably under this palace will be 100 tons of money. Anyway, and this is my concept of privacy. Privacy is something that has not to be spied inside. So basically, our information nowadays are always spied. Social network, everything. So we are here to solve a problem. First of all, if the data also are encrypted and are sent to the cloud, these data remain encrypted but are not useful because you cannot search inside of the data, and so the data basically has a function only of storage and not interact with you. But on the other hand, if the data remain unencrypted in the cloud provider at least can spy inside of your data. So the question is, how can it be possible to search in an encrypted way without the decrypt? But this is such a kind of paradox. Nowadays, the encryption of 95% of cloud provider is made in this way. I mean, as you can see, the lock is in between end-to-end. So the encryption is made by your device and the cloud, in the channel, in the internet, for instance. But the data remain unencrypted inside. So this is not a problem of security, not a problem of hash, how long is the hash, what kind of encryption you use. Also because Marie-Claire can demonstrate to us that probably in 5 years, all the classical encryption will be, probably not all, but most of the classical encryption will be devastated, will be toasted. So the solution probably at that is a searching engine that encrypts the data. The key of the data is detected only by the client and not by the cloud provider, as now happens. But in the same times, I am able to not decrypt the data and to search in a good performance, 0.35 seconds per query. And make also analytics on the big data. What kind of cryptography makes possible such a kind of magical things? Homomorphic encryption is different from the classical cryptography, in which there is Bob and Alice that transmit some love messages or something else. Homomorphic encryption is basically Bob that interlocute with Bob is 1-to-1. So basically there is Bob that figure out in this case, some data to the cloud, and the data remain encrypted, and Bob, the same Bob, search ABCD, the query is encrypted too, arrive to the cloud, and retrieve the information that Bob asking for. Homomorphic encryption is a kind of encryption that you can figure out a body and is shadow. The shadow is not perfectly correspondent to the body, but give an idea of the body. The skeleton with the body is the same. And also in mathematics, we can find isomorphism. So something that is equal but not similar but not equal. And you can search inside losing information, but at least retrieving some information exists or not exist, for instance. So basically, our technical architecture that we projected, and about in 3 years just for this, to figure out how to implement. This is one of the implementation, actually. We have created 2 virtual machines, one encryption engine, and one that we have called our terminal. Don't search in Google encryption engine, manipulation engine, probably there is some other definition. Anyway, manipulation engine that in this case stay in private cloud, but could always stay in the public cloud, that this is the shadow file. I mean, the index file, how do you want, doesn't exist actually a terminology that can correspond exactly to what is the file nearby the encrypted file that in which you can search. So basically, through API, you can connect your system with our searching engine and use on top, or you can use our platform that we have created. This is just one screenshot. I don't have the time to make a demo, and probably will be. And it's like just a Google that when I pronounce it Google, I am a little bit, because it's anti-privacy, so I just don't want in your mind that I am Google. No, I am the opposite of Google. We encrypt everything. We are very, very, very scared about everything, about the identification man and machine, machine to machine, virtual machine, and we use zero knowledge that projected by ourselves, and we use a technology that can retrieve information when you ask him for, and basically gives to you the file that exists in your content. For example, if I search Max inside Massimo inside all my file, I retrieve in our platform, I retrieve the information of the file that contain my name, so my keyword Massimo, and obviously I have the key to decrypt, but if I give to somebody the policy to search inside of my data, he doesn't have the key, so can search, for example, how many patients exist in the county of San Mateo, for example, or how many patients of diabetes patients, sorry, or something else. So basically, and I'm going to the conclusion because I don't like to be too prolix. So these are the tons of applications. Probably we don't know yet how many applications could be spread out by this crypto searching engine, and for sure healthcare application is excuse me, is one of the most interesting, because you know, healthcare now all the entire healthcare is not allowed just because the privacy to move the data on the cloud. But with this system, probably in the future, it will be possible to not only to encrypt all the information and to put on the cloud, but also connecting all the hospital, all the clinics, and to make searching on and analytic on big data, on analytics on the pathology, and on not on the sensitive or super sensitive data. Other applications are in biometric. Biometric is very cool as a technology, but unfortunately is very weak as a cryptography, because it's a mathematical string, and so if they stole and use your fingerprint, you are toasted, because you have only one fingerprint. With this kind of homomorphic encryption, we can create copy of this biometrical identification and use this copy and keep the master key well repaired by the attacks. So, and the other more, one of the the most cool application could be in crypto-connected vehicles. Crypto-connected, how much time I have? A little bit small. So crypto-connected vehicle will be a very huge problem in the future, because you know, when somebody will call you, I hope not, and will tell you, I have taken possession of your car, and your baby is sitting down on the back, and he will tell you, now if you don't make a wire transfer of 200 Bitcoin, your car will be crashed against the car in front. Will be a problem. So okay. The conclusion, next step will be some other feature of the system, and our business model is to sell to cloud computing and system integrator, and such as telco industries and corporate and healthcare. And our team is composed by me and my engineer staff, and our patents are about a dozen. Is just the same. Okay, we are Silicon-based company. But we really want to come back to Europe because I am Italian, and I hope to come back to Europe, because I strongly believe that Europe is much more sensitive on privacy than America. And so thank you to everybody.